Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also share with your friends, and also click on the notification bell icon so that any video that I post, you will be the first to get it. Stay with me as we expand our knowledge with videos from all over the internet that's going to make us question reality. Let's just start.
The color blue was never written down.
Weird.
In like all this, like blue was never a word.
Weird.
They didn't have a word for that color?
No.
Okay.
When they would describe like the ocean
Yeah.
and stuff like that, they would describe it as like green.
What?
And yeah. And so the theory is if you can't connect a word with a color, can you not see that color? Because your brain, and so they did an experiment.
That's crazy.
They did an experiment in this tribe somewhere in Africa. It was like the Bush people,
Yeah.
and they also have never heard the word blue. And so they gave this graph, and it's this graph of like 12 squares, and they're all green, right? And then there's one that's like a bluish green, very different. Like all of us would be like, oh yeah, that one's different. And they had these people look at it, and they were staring at it, and it took them so long to figure out which color was different because they don't know what to look for in the blue. They're like, find the one that's different. It was weird.
Yeah.
And then they showed it.
Please again understand very clearly. You never actually change the world you're on. Ever. You change yourself and then you shift to a parallel Earth reality that's already more representative of the change you made within yourself and is already populated by beings that are more representative of that vibration.
True.
Now, this sounds
Yeah.
absolutely crazy, but there's a Nobel Prize in 2021 that was won on this subject of local realism is false. So, there's possibly parallel universes, every version of the life you want. Move between them, shift between them. Read the Nobel Prize.
The FBI says the head of a massive international drug smuggling ring is a former Canadian snowboarder named Ryan James Wedding. Now, we first told you about him here at the desk last October when the Department of Justice announced the breakup of this drug smuggling ring, but the alleged mastermind, Wedding, is still on the run, and today he was added to the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. Take a listen to what the assistant director of the FBI in charge of the LA office had to say in a news conference.
Wedding went from being an elite athlete to running one of the most sophisticated drug trafficking networks in North America. Wedding and 15 other defendants are currently
Wedding.
charged
That's his
with their
name. It's
roles in
crazy.
this drug operation. This operation has shipped drugs from Colombia through Mexico and into the United States and Canada. While we haven't ruled out other countries, we believe Wedding is residing in Mexico and possibly living under protection of the Sinaloa drug cartel.
Now, this is the new wanted poster of Ryan James Wedding that was showed at the news conference today, where he was added to the 10 most wanted list. There is also a staggering $10 million reward being offered for his capture and arrest. And this is
That's a
video
big
from a news
bounty on
conference
his head.
last October when the U.S. attorney announced the breakup of that criminal organization allegedly run by Wedding and his accomplices. Now, the DOJ says this organization moved up to 60 tons of cocaine into the United States every year. They'd make the cocaine in Colombia, ship it through Mexico in long-haul trucks until it arrived here in L.A. Then it would go into stash houses here in the city and then be distributed and sold in Canada, the East Coast, and Florida. The DOJ also says this group was responsible for multiple murders of people who got in their way, and they'd use cryptocurrency to launder their drug profits.
Well, can you explain to me how it all works?
How the economy works?
Well, yeah, what's the problem at the moment, for instance?
Well, what we've got at the moment is an international credit crisis.
Yes, how does that happen?
Well, I'm a bank, Brian, and I borrow money and I lend it out, and I charge more to the people I'm lending it to than I pay to the people from whom I'm borrowing it.
Well, who do you borrow money from?
Well, from, depositors, Brian. Have you got a dollar?
Well,
I
sure.
borrow your dollar and I'll give you, there's your bank balance.
$1.
$1.
Right, okay, and you pay interest to me on that?
I do, but I also charge you fees.
Well, why do you charge me fees?
Because, Brian, I'm looking after your money. Your money is secure with me. I'm a bank. I mean, this is a very important amount of money. This is probably your nest egg. It's safe with us.
And how much interest do you pay me?
Approximately the same as I'm charging you in fees.
Oh, good deal for me.
Well, your money's secure with us, Brian, and I then lend that money to businesses, and those businesses generate income. This is how we build an economy.
Yeah. And they put that income into the bank?
They do, of course, Brian, and that builds the savings pool, and we can invest more money.
Well, who do you lend that to?
Well, the people who need credit, Brian. You see, money creates more money. So if we can create money that creates more money, we're broadening the economy. We're expanding it all the time.
Yeah. But shouldn't people just buy the thing they can afford?
You don't need to afford the things you're buying, Brian. You need to afford the interest on the money you need to borrow in order to buy them.
And you're charging higher rates for all this?
We do hop into them a wee bit on the credit rate, Brian. We stick the hydraulics under that because it's a slightly higher risk strategy.
Do people need to be buying these things that
Well,
they can't
obviously
afford?
they think so, Brian. I mean, these things are advertised to people as very necessary, very important and deeply, deeply attractive.
Well, who's advertising things that people don't need?
The companies we're lending the money to.
So, okay, then you bought into the US subprime housing market.
Well, Brian, so concerned are we to build a better Australia.
You helped build a worse America.
Yeah, well, that was an accident, Brian. What we were doing was investing in the international investment market.
And that's been a disaster.
It, frankly, famously, hasn't been a huge success hitherto.
Well, so what are you going to do?
Well, now you give me $700 billion immediately.
Why?
Well, because we need it, Brian. I mean, the system needs money. Imagine the economy as a body. It needs blood pumping around it, Brian.
And you haven't got any?
We haven't got any money, no.
Why not?
Well, we lost ours. I've just been explaining that.
You're not having mine.
Mom!
Not much people has realized that nearly 100% of transoceanic data traffic is carried by undersea cables. These lines are laid on the bottom of the ocean and usually carries the world's internet, phone calls, even TV transmissions between continents. If 100% of internet data is transmitted through underwater cables, that only means that communication satellites are totally unnecessary. I mean, there is no satellites floating out space. It is a scam since our ocean is our real space. This photo right here was installed year 1410, a 600-year-old clock, remarkable fusion of timekeeping, even celestial wisdom that stood the test of time. Does it look heliocentric to you or geocentric? Geography is called geography with purpose and not heliography. Horizon is called horizon with its purpose, it's horizontal. Airplane is called airplane with a purpose that we are living in a flat plane. I mean, you already let your partner lie to you, the governments lie to you, and NASA too. Come on. You shouldn't drink the whole ocean of lies thinking that the salty taste will taste like sugar. Imagination always creates reality, okay? Now imagine how this world is a flying ball rumbling around, but Polaris and our constellations still remain in the same position. I mean, how many billions of dollars invested in these so-called spaceships just to lie to us that they reach outer space? Unfortunately for NASA and modern astronomers, their theory of spherical Earth does not usually agree with facts, because the formula of their curvature has always been found to be utterly fallacious. That's both on land and water. Have you remembered the Lake Baikal? The largest freshwater lake that's located in Russia, with 395 miles long and 49 miles wide and always frozen for 5 months a year. And it is so thick that cars can pass through across its flat surface. It's funny to think that if Earth were globe, there is supposed to be 19 miles of curvature present on the surface of the Lake Baikal. Instead, there is absence of the 19 miles of frozen curvature. Real physicists that can't be bought by governments always knew Earth is flat. Quantum physicists always work off of a flat Earth model. I believe you know aircraft would need to use what they called the dead reckoning. A dead reckoning is when an aircraft loses its communication on any ground tower, and they have to maintain their heading, speed and altitude until they get reconnected with another land-based tower. If they could communicate through satellites in space, they don't need to use the dead reckoning, yeah? But they do, because the satellite on space is a scam. Our space is the ocean, period. And don't forget, astronauts can't be astronauts without scuba diving lessons.
Scuba diving lessons?
And the 20s are the worst
This is
decade of your
crazy.
life. There, I said it.
Really?
Oh, the worst.
I thought they were supposed to be like the best though.
Well, that's why it's the worst, because you guys have been gaslit into thinking it's the best.
Yeah.
No, the 20s are the worst, and I'll tell you why. From 0 to 20, your entire life had structure to it,
Yes.
where you knew exactly what was going to happen next. You were going to go to first, second grade, third, fourth, fifth, all the way to college, and people go to college, and you go to freshman, sophomore.
Yeah.
Then the 20s hit, and it all of a sudden becomes an individual sport.
I hate to ruin your day this early, but that bitch that you see at the gym that's so beautiful that you just thought about one day going up to and saying something to her, she's fucked like 5 or 6 niggas in that gym. If niggas come into the gym and give her a hug first, then go put they shit in the locker, she's giving out pussy. That bitch that you seen 1 or 2 times that was so cold and then she disappeared, it's because she fucked somebody in the gym. They no longer talk.
I'm gonna be so real with y'all. This is some of the best game I've ever seen on TikTok. Cause I've been on all sides of this. All sides of this. I've been one of the dudes that a girl would come into the gym and hug, or vice versa. I would come to the gym and hug her, or she would come to the gym and hug me. Yada yada yada. Shorty was undeniably giving up the cooter to multiple men in that gym. All right, that's not the girl you want to go for if you ever, and I mean under any circumstances, see a fine girl in the gym, or even a mid girl in the gym, and she hugs more than one man on the regular, she's cooter. I'm sorry to tell you. Then the other thing bro said, he said, if you see a girl that's always in the gym and all of a sudden she just disappears, I'm gonna be real with you, 9 times out of 10, it's because she started hooking up with a dude that goes to that gym, they stopped talking, and now she's gone. And that's why she's gone. Girls not gonna give up a place they comfortable going to in a cycle that they used to be on, right? She been going to that gym. You've seen her for a long time. She been going, and she just disappeared. There's an off chance she might have moved. Not likely, but nah, it's because she got with some dude at that gym and she had to leave. And I understand that because I've even been, as a dude, I've been talking to a girl. We split. I'll just leave the gym. I don't even feel like dealing with the girl that go to that gym no more. I'll just leave. The girls do the same thing. They will absolutely leave. I was even talking to a girl. We was talking for months or whatever. She did what she did. We split. She moved gym. And, you know, I be all around the city because that's how I do my work. I seen her at the gym that's like a couple miles away. I'm like, oh, you moved because of me. That's nuts. And don't think you safe just because I said all that. Then there's the girl who's just bad after she just fine. She got with, unless she in a relationship, she's hooking up with somebody in that gym or some bodies in that gym. You ever seen them girls that seem to come into the gym at different times of the day? Like let's say you pull up in the morning and she'll be there, or you'll pull up in the afternoon and she'll be there, or you'll pull up at night and she'll be there. It's because there's a different dude at a different time during the day, right? So let's say the dude she hooking up with come in the morning, she'll go at night, right? Or she was hooking up with, she'll go at night, or he goes at night, she'll go in the morning, or so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Bro, also, them girls that look super fine in that gym and they wearing them like Alpha Lead, young, I don't know, whatever them tight shorts is. If they wearing that in them sports bras and that's all they got on, those are not the girls you want to go for. And this isn't even necessarily a modesty thing. It's more like that's the fit that tells you that they're goers. I'm sorry. I guess not even a modesty thing. Like if you see a girl in there with like black leggings on, and then like a t-shirt or something, she might be alright. But if every time you see this girl in the gym, she got a sports bra, you can see her bitties, and she got them tight, like bright colored shorts on that are real short and they're like hiked up, she a goer. Don't go for those. Unless you want to go, then go for those because they're going. So go. You know what I mean?
How many times has Ariana Grande showed her fans who she works for? She could be sending us down a rabbit hole of nothingness, but I could show you time and time again where Ariana is using symbolism to show you where her interests are. You know what I found also interesting is that she was listed in one of the artists who are managed by the CAA. And if you were curious as to what the landscape looks like at the Creative Arts Agency, well, here you go. Nothing suspicious here, just coincidence. In which another viewer pointed out that it's on the money from Gravity Falls. I wonder if they're trying to tell us something here. Moving on. Just how Amanda Bynes worked closely with Dan Snyder, so did Ariana. But what I found interesting is that Ariana Grande has said nothing negative about Dan Snyder. In fact, she stated that she loves Dan Snyder and she appreciates his support.
Monty, Charlie, Wendy, Republic, Ricker, Scooter, Allison, Jen, Stephanie, Dan Schneider, Nickelodeon. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting my music career.
Every time I watch that clip, I wonder how Amanda Bynes feels about that. As her career is ruined by trauma, Ariana's skyrockets. But I'm sure that doesn't mean that she's compliant. Not at all. Whether she's mocking us or whether she's mocking you, something's not right here, and I find it quite interesting how many support it. And just a little PSA, the Scooter that she thanks at the award show is Scooter Braun, who managed Ariana for over a decade, who also just so happened to be the mentor of Justin Bieber as soon as he entered the industry in 2008. And not only that, but he became his new manager after firing Lou Taylor. And by the looks of it, it looks like Justin Bieber has been in good hands for a while, wouldn't you say?
Did you know Native Americans created a food so powerful it could sustain warriors for months with just a small pouch? That's right. Pemmican isn't just another survival food. It's perhaps the most nutrient-dense, shelf-stable food ever created. Lewis and Clark's expeditions succeeded largely because of this remarkable superfood. When you combine rendered animal fat with dried lean meat in the right proportions, the fat actually seals and preserves the protein. This creates a perfect balance of energy and nutrition that can last decades without refrigeration. Our ancestors understood food preservation on a level modern science is just beginning to appreciate. Making traditional pemmican is surprisingly simple. Dry lean meat until brittle, pound into powder, mix with rendered fat at a 1-to-1 ratio, add dried berries for vitamins, and press into cakes or bars. This perfect combination of fat, protein, and carbohydrates sustained entire tribes through harsh winters. But that's just the beginning of pemmican's remarkable properties. Want to know which berries boost pemmican's shelf life? What about the traditional preparation method that maximizes nutrient density? Or the simple storage technique that keeps it fresh for years? Want to learn more about this ultimate survival superfood? Read our in-depth guide. Just click the link in our bio.
I don't want y'all to think I'm crazy. I really feel like the nigga Mr. Beast is not a real person. He was, hear me out. He was created in a lab. They made this nigga in a laboratory to take over YouTube. That's why they made him. He's botted the fuck out. That's another bot. We don't even see, bro. Have you ever even seen one of those TMZ pictures of Mr. Beast? Like, oh, we found them outside in Beverly Hills on Rodeo.
Since I was working,
a lot of the elites had their summer homes in Jekyll Island, including the Rockefellers, Vanderbilts, the Morgans.
This reminds me, if I can, talk about the place we got married.
Yeah.
It's like a hidden gem, the place that we got married, the venue called the Sidoni Mansion. It was built at the turn of the century by a dude who was buddies with all of those guys you just mentioned. And he went on a hunting trip. He was hunting on this land that he ultimately ended up purchasing and building the Sidoni Mansion, which was originally a hunting lodge, but then just turned into their Christmas home. What's so strange about it is that they had this huge wealth, and he also had 5 children, which at the turn of the century, they say if you had that kind of money and that many children at the turn of the century, you would have like hundreds of descendants today. But they have 3 living relatives. All the wealth is mysteriously gone. Every single family member, apart from one daughter, died in that house.
And they only went there for Christmas.
They were only there for Christmas.
There's something hidden there. That's scary.
I don't like that.
It makes you think, because it's like, so like
Donald Trump is making a $250 bill for the USA. Grateful to announce that I am drafting legislation to direct the Bureau of Engraving and Printing to design a $250 bill featuring Donald J. Trump. Bidenflation has destroyed the economy, forcing American families to carry more cash. Most valuable bill for most valuable president. That is an unbelievable way to introduce a dollar that you created for yourself.
Damn, they was getting busy in Africa and in Asia. The population growth chart just came out for 2024. North America comes in 3rd place with a mere 4.6 million. What surprised me in the chart was Europe was negative 1,200,000. They didn't even break even. So you already know the contraception was around. The plan B, C, D, E, F, G was around.
Yes, right.
And Australia with the 600K. That's cool. Now my question is, what is the discrepancy behind this? What are the volatile facts? And why North America and South America combined don't even have 8 million childbirths compared to the east side of the world? The west side of the world doesn't want to have many children, I see, because on the east side of the hemisphere.
Let me pause it for a while. You know, one of the main reasons why people are not giving birth is because the economy is so hard. Like, even taking care of yourself is a headache, right? And you bringing somebody into the world, and you know, people have higher standards for, you know, their kids, like how they want to take care of their kids. So, you know, it makes it so crazy. But then with Europe and which other country, South America and Australia, I think there's a great system for them to be able to produce in abundance, like in abundance. And even in Africa, that we don't have enough resources. Look at us, we are the first. Isn't this crazy? But then yeah, I feel everything is going to be okay. Economies are going to be stable, and you know, the population is also going to rise again. It's time, you know, whatever goes up comes down. So it's like people will start you know, realizing that extinction might happen in their various, you know, continents, and there'll be, you know, maybe a policy for them to produce more. Like in Russia right now, there's a policy for them to, you know, have sex during their breaks, like their work breaks, because their population is like going lower and lower and lower. So I mean, I think it'll work. Like they'll find ways and means to make it, you know, something probably better. I don't know, but then yeah, they'll find a solution to it. Let's get back to the video.
These women almost gave birth to 64 million kids. Is it more affordable? Is the quality of living better? Is it more of a community base that you get help out there? I don't know, but this is alarming, but it's also fascinating. I will get to the bottom of these discrepancies and I will solve the clue. There is no mystery though. If you want to have a kid, go to the east side of the world. Now I know that if I go to Africa, I'll probably have 48 kids and
Yes,
start my own
right.
village. Something I should consider.
There's a lot of persecution of Christians, and I'm really bothered by it. Your family is Arab Christian. Awful lot of Arab Christians get killed in a bunch of different countries all the time. And no one says a word about it.
Christian persecution is something really close to my heart. In fact, I just executive produced an animated short film called The 21, which came out towards the end of February on the 10th anniversary of the martyrdom of the 21 martyrs in Libya. 20 of them were Coptic Christians from Egypt. One of them was non-Christian initially from Ghana, and they just rounded up all these guys. The ISIS came and rounded them up, tried to force them to deny their faith. They're just migrant workers. They got rounded up, just captured. ISIS was like, yeah, deny your faith and we'll let you go. Don't deny it, we'll kill you. Like, oh, well, we're not going to do that. So, and they tortured them for months. Even the guy from Ghana, ISIS said to him, like, you can go, you're okay, you're not Christian, you're not one of these guys. And he's like, no, their God is my God. And so they say he converted and he died with them. At the end of the day, what people walk away with is that these guys had the opportunity to say, no, I'm not Christian, and then live. But none of them did it. They went to their graves. They wouldn't deny their faith. And so I got a chance to screen this film for the first time with the families of the martyrs 10 years later.
Oh my God.
Which was words fail me because it was such an overwhelmingly powerful experience to be there with them. When you talk to them, full of joy. More than one of them thanked their captors because they feel, and you know, as Christians we believe this, that because they died for their faith, they got a straight shot right to the divine, right to God. They're like, we thank them because they sent them right to heaven. So the Coptic Church declared them saints. And then very recently the Catholic Church, it's the first time it's happened, Catholic Church also considered them saints because they died for the faith.
That's heartbreaking.
Jesus did not want to create a new religion, and the church made a new religion about his teachings. Jesus wanted to create leaders, and the church created followers. Jesus taught that I and my Father are one, meaning there is nothing between us and God, and then the church put him between us and God. Jesus was the messenger, and then the church made him the Godhead. Jesus said to love our neighbors as ourselves, and then the church killed millions in his name. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is upon us, and the church said that it was somewhere else. Jesus said we would surpass the things that he did, and the church said that we would never be able to be as good as him. It may be time to liberate the teachings of Jesus from the church of Jesus.
Web 1
This
was
is
the
true
first
and
version
crazy.
of the internet. You could read information, but you couldn't write back. No comment section. Websites here were like online newspapers. There was no social media, no user-generated content. Then we got Web 2, where the internet became interactive. Look at all these social media platforms. This is where we are now, in this one. It meant you could share, you could read, you could write, you could start posting on Facebook. But big corporations own Web 2, and places like Google and Meta and Amazon collect your data. They run the platforms, they make the rules. Web 3 is what comes next. This is a new internet. Instead of Mark Zuckerberg owning your personal data and your family photos, this is a system where people own their own data and can govern things together.
There's 5 things you can do with money. The thing you want to do with it won't bring happiness.
The 4 things you're less likely to do with it will bring happiness. So number 1, buy stuff. You think it's going to bring you happiness. It brings you momentary satisfaction that does not endure. But the other 4 will actually bring satisfaction that endures. Buy experiences with people you love. You think things are permanent and experiences are evanescent. The truth is that experiences are permanent. They lodge in your heart and mind, and your things are impermanent. That's number 1. 2, buy time. Spread the love, create a job. You don't want to do something, you got the money, pay somebody to do it. Then use the time with the people you love. Don't fritter it away on Instagram. Right. 4th is give your money away. Find things you really care about and give them your money. And 5th, save your money. It's intensely gratifying because humans get happiness from progress. We don't get it from getting to our goals. It's progress toward our goals. That's how humans are wired. And saving is progress. If you want your money to buy happiness, do those 4 things.
Craziest weapons made in prison by inmates. Number 1, a shotgun out of bedposts. It used gunpowder made out of the lead from curtain tape and matchsticks and was ignited using AA batteries and a broken light bulb. In May of 1984, an inmate used it to shoot through bulletproof glass and escape. Number 2, nunchucks made out of 2 chair legs and a bed sheet. A St. Louis inmate, Lorenzo Pollard, used this weapon to fight off over a dozen armed guards and escape that prison. Number 3, a whip made out of a wooden post, shoelace, and smuggled in razor blades. Number 4, the spike glove. Now, this may look like an ordinary gardening glove, but it's actually 2 of them, one sewn inside the other with a layer of upholstery tacks pulled out of the flooring and fastened between the 2 gloves, so that anytime a punch or slap was delivered, the tacks would punch through the other glove and cause some serious damage. Lastly, candy bars, particularly the ones with caramel insides, because they discovered, many prisons that is, and that is why many prisons stopped selling specific candy bars with caramel insides, that inmates were melting it down until it became scalding hot using a hot plate sold on the commissary. They would then take a jar of this scalding chocolate caramel sludge and throw it into their opponent's face, and since caramel and chocolate harden quickly, it would become a shell on their enemy's face, and it was very difficult to remove without also removing skin.
That'll be so painful.
And who is financially stable. And I know you're broke, but anyways. And also, so many broke people. I know it happens.
It's crazy.
But also just, someone who can laugh with and have a great time with.
Okay, so we have all of the popped balloons, so we're going to go down the line and ask a few questions.
Do it.
What's your name, age, and why did you pop your balloon, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Justin. I'm 33. I'm a vice president of Street Partnership for an economic development firm. And I popped because I think it takes a lot of courage to come on a show like this and to kind of laugh off people's intentions.
Why do men go for these things? Would you go for it?
Okay. And would
Something like this?
Your type?
No,
Leave a
but I
comment
also
if you would.
didn't get anyone's intention.
It's crazy, right?
I got a chance to even say anything, so I didn't laugh at anyone's intentions at
Your
all.
comment while we pop balloons about folks being broke is just not really appreciated. So.
Well, they popped my balloon. It wasn't appreciated on my end either. That's unfortunate. Let's move on.
Now, I was going to keep my balloon only because you do acting. The reason why I popped it is your petty comment, okay? So you say you want a man financially stable, which is completely understand. But because the man popped his balloon and you want to call him broke, I can't do that, okay? You just got to understand the man, period. Just because...
we heard your comment. You don't have to go
okay,
too deep.
I wanted to, just like you did on the last episode. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, let's go ahead and move to the next one.
I didn't know this was about the last episode. Oh my gosh.
What's your name, age, and what do you do
here.
for a living?
I'm Daquan Lee.
What's up, Daquan?
What up? I'm from Mount Vernon, New York, and I own a mingle and dating company. We host events, and I'm also a lifestyle coach.
Okay, and why did you pop your balloon today?
2 reasons. She's not really the type I would go after, and I think she's toxic.
Toxic? Do you want to elaborate?
I get a toxic vibe.
I'm not toxic at all.
That's fine. But she's not
That's fine.
That's great. Let's move on.
It's her combativeness.
Yeah, kind of. At first, it was just the initial attraction, but yeah, kind of what everybody else said. I kind of didn't appreciate that comment. That was, in my eyes, kind of corny. You
I know.
really
It hurts to be broke. Let's move on.
I guess. I guess.
I've never seen a financially stable person complain about someone saying you should not be broke. Just saying. But let's move on.
Yeah. I mean, like I
Let's
said.
move on.
Okay.
Very rude.
I ain't going.
So rude.
Okay, nice. And why did you pop your balloon today?
So, everything was good, just because the attraction was there. But yeah, the comment, calling him broke, that's what it was for me. Because in the past, I've been a man who led with money just to prove I had money. But the women always had different intentions because of that. So I'm doing it on the reverse side. I don't want to be that person that leaves with money, that proves I have money. Let things flow, and then you're going to see what I got. But just in the beginning, that kind of tells me what your intentions are.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think asking for a man to be financially stable tells you your intentions. I mean, if I'm financially stable and you're not, that would be me taking the L and you just be leeching. But I digress.
Well, another thing that I want to add is that there's a difference between asking that question and having a conversation and just making projections. You made a projection.
Hi, what's your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Monroe. I'm 29 years old. I work for a company called Tishman Spire, and I run a security company with a partner of mine.
Okay, and why did you pop your balloon today?
Initially, I was all for it, but I think how you treat other folk, it just got something to say about yourself, too. But it's also, real good feminine energy, but I do like a little bit more outspoken as well,
Okay, and would he be your type?
No.
Okay. Well, let's walk it back. Unfortunately, there are no more balloons, so there might be better luck next time.
What's your name?
Toby with an I, with an accent over the I, and a little line over the O, so you know it's a long vowel sound and not a short one. And sometimes I like to
Is this
dot
like
the I with
Kunta
a little
Kinte?
smiley face or a heart or something. Something to brighten the reader's day.
I asked you
In a
what your
cartoon
name
form.
was.
Honey, you keep that up. It's whatever you want it to be.
Of course, back then the South was a very different place than it is today. A backward place where they didn't believe in science and hated others just for being different. Time has a way of changing a place and its people. Excuse me. Hi. Yeah, is there like a human resources guy we could talk to? I have a work-related grievance.
What?
Well, the quarters are too crowded, the hours are long, and, I don't like to be this guy, but a couple of the overseers have been making racial slurs.
That's funny. The last part was really funny. And we've come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. A lot of crazy videos, a lot of crazy revelations, a lot of crazy theories, a lot of crazy insights. And I hope you enjoy yourself. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with your friends. And also click on the notification bell icon so that any video that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.